This world is not what you think it is. This world is not what you think it is. Go, go.
Everybody, I'm going to change the title of this one. It's going to be called Under the Dome. I'll tell you why in a second. People were digging the song I was playing yesterday, wondering who it was. I wrote it. It's been a song I've just kind of been doodling with for my whole life. When I was just playing there, I realized that some of the vibe of the song that I was playing yesterday that was like, I don't even remember what I was playing yesterday. It was like, I can't help but notice the influence of Moonlight Sonata by Beethoven, which is this. One of the first songs I ever learned in my life, right? And this is going to be a trippy episode. We're going to talk about the Mandela effect. We're also going to talk about the dome. And Beethoven was obsessed with the moon. And there's something to that music that's haunted me my whole life. There isn't a time in my life when I don't remember playing Moonlight Sonata. I learned that when I was maybe 6 or 7. And I played it my whole life. So, and a lot of people liked the song I was playing yesterday and wanted to know who wrote it. It was me. But this is Moonlight Sonata. Except he plays it so much softer. It's barely holding on. You can't really play it right with a keyboard. You can't get the quiet without an actual grand piano. Right, so the song I have been writing for my whole life. And then to make it haunting, you would do this chord. And then that could have been very different. moon is lying. Beethoven never gives you that ending. He gives you this ending. I'll give you a different ending. All right. So, a lot of you guys think I am a FBR. Not FDR, FBR. FDR is Franklin Delano Roosevelt. FBR is full-blown retard for entertaining the thoughts of flat Earth or us living in a dome. And I'm going to show you tonight why I do. And I'm still not saying we live in it under a dome at all. But there is a mystery going on with that moon. Let's talk about the dome. And there is a level of intelligence where any talk of flat Earth or living under a dome sounds insane. You have to understand it could mean a million things. It could be literal. It could be metaphorical. There's something going on. So I was thinking about Disney. Thinking a lot about Disney. You ever think about the symbol of Disney World? What is that? What's that thing over the castle? What the hell is that? And I asked friends, what is that thing over Disney World? So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, what is that? I'll tell you what that is. It's a dome. I was like, is it just that? No. Disney World is under a dome. And right now you got just trust me, right? Trust me for a little bit. Trust me for a little bit. Because right now you're thinking, oh, Big Bear, that's simply a rainbow, or maybe it's a fairy wings. That is a dome. And why does it matter? Why does that matter? Why does all this dome imagery matter? Because Walt Disney was best friends with Wernher von Braun, the guy who started NASA, the guy who designed the Saturn rocket that allegedly went to the moon. We never went to the moon. Oh, that's just one picture? No. Walt Disney and Wernher von Braun were literally best friends. They worked together all the time. Why is that important? Oh, Wernher von Braun was a scientist who built the Saturn rocket that got us to the moon. On his tombstone, Wernher von Braun has one thing, Psalm 19:1. Well, what does that mean, Big Bear? I'll tell you. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. The firmament is a dome. That's interesting. How do people not find this interesting? The Disney symbol is the world under a dome. Disney was best friends with the guy who said, quote unquote, to get to the moon, we would need a rocket ship the size of the Empire State Building and then refuel. There was no way they were getting to the moon. Wernher von Braun was a genius Nazi that we got from Operation Paperclip, and he's the father of NASA, right? He's also best friends with Walt Disney. And on his tombstone is one biblical passage, just one. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. Firmament is a dome. Okay, so let's recap. Disney's image is the world under a dome. Disney is best friends with Wernher von Braun. Von Braun, his only thing on his tombstone is Psalm 19:1, which says that not only God exists, but you can see his handiwork in the firmament, which is a dome. And some people say it's not a dome. Some people say it was that King James. But Wernher von Braun was a Lutheran, so he was probably reading the King James version, which says firmament, which is a dome. The astronauts can't even agree if they saw stars. They erased the telemetry data. They couldn't have done a live broadcast. They said that they no longer have the technology to go back. And of course, no other country ever went there ever. It's a joke. So when you're dealing with that, you know, Big Bear, I've heard you address the fact that there are different stars are seen in the southern hemisphere. Moon landing was hoaxed, but Earth is a globe, in my opinion. I still think the Earth is a globe. That's the craziest thing. I don't know why though. I find this all very curious. The story is different than the science, which is different than the anomalies, which is different than... It's fascinating. And I can honestly say no one knows. And that sounds crazy, but like all these people that are like, it's flat, look at this, blah, blah, blah. And then I can disprove a lot of their shit. And then the sphere, it's also like, well, what about all this shit? I find it very, very interesting because it isn't as obvious as people think. And like, I have enough confidence in my intellect where I dismiss the whole like, you're a retard if you think. Probe to Venus, which is notably satanic planet, was 1965. Does that not give you a little chill? I mean, look at some of this stuff. Hang on, wait till you see. Look at this. There's some things that are very weird. Yeah, look at this. Saturn. This is a better picture. This is a real picture. Not real, my ass. I don't even know. But this is from NASA. I'm quoting NASA. I'm not showing doctored anything. This is NASA's a bunch of liars, granted, obviously, but just hear me out. This is Saturn's pole. What is that? 1 side, 2 side, 3 side, 4 side, 5. It's a 6-sided storm. Guys, that's really weird. What storm have you ever seen that looks like that for eternity? It's been like that for, observably, for hundreds of years. Hundreds of years. It's a 6-sided, like, sided storm. That's fucking crazy. And there's people that are like, well, I mean some storms and they're no. No. CGI Big Bear? That's from NASA. All I'm saying, listen, whether or not that's real, I can't say because I don't know. That's from NASA. That's from NASA. That's from NASA. The Saturn, the pole of Saturn is a fucking hexagon. Hex. That's weird. It's weird. People are, and I get so suspicious of the people that are like, well, I mean, it's easy to explain. I mean, storms. No, there's no storm you've ever witnessed or can conceive of that operates like that for eternity, for hundreds of years, observably. No. Hex 6, yeah. It's also, guys, I mean, obviously, doesn't take a genius to fill in the blocks that that's the fucking Star of David. It's the Star of David, right? You want to see, I'll show, I mean, a lot of people don't get the visuals in their head right away, I think. So, I'm big into symbol. Because symbols rule the world, and they do. Just look at, guys, I mean, it's right there. It's, Star of David is the pole of Saturn. That's the pole of Saturn. Oh, where'd you get that? Where'd you get the picture? NASA. I got that picture from NASA. But, no. I don't trust satellites either, bro. Someone just said I don't trust satellites. That doesn't matter. NASA gave us this image that that's the pole of Saturn. Is a fucking hexagon. Days to get to the moon and landed with then no gas station or push up from below, and we came out. We didn't go to the moon. Everyone has to abandon that nonsense. The odds we went to the moon are 0. 0. Zilch. And people have tried to debate me. It's not, you won't win. There's no evidence that we went to the, it's one of the few times you can prove a negative. Wake up.
This world is not what you think it is. This world is not what you think it is.